All right, YouTube, this is Tuesday back with my 2 cents on Octopath Traveler, and today we have our update. So we're getting our new Re2 Cup, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll post a link probably at the end of this video just so you can see how that fight's going to kind of work and, get a little idea of what kind of team that you might want to bring along for that. But we're also getting a new unit today, so we're going to take a look at the banners and specifically take a look at the unit here with Molrusso, which I'm just going to call Rousseau because I feel like that's actually correct, and I'm not sure about the first part of the name. So, like normal, just correct me down below. That way I'm less of an idiot next time. Let's get into it. All right, real quick. We have the exchange shop here, and I just wanted to highlight this kind of change here. I don't know if it's going to change anybody's mind or anything like that. I hardly think anybody's going to go hard on this unit, but we'll kind of look at that in the review. But we have this kind of 4 out of 5 star option now that's at the 100 pity versus the one that we're kind of used to at the 200 pity. I don't know if this is just their thing that they're trying. It seems like things are always different between banners and exchanges and pities, and I don't know if they're just trying to throw until they find something that kind of sticks, or if we're just always going to be up in the air and every single banner is going to be different. So but this is an option here. Like I said, I'm not sure anybody's going for 100 pity for this unit to begin with, but you can get a 4.5 star out of from this shop should you want to do that. Now, what would be interesting is like if you were to pull that to 100 pity, but you ended up getting her at a 5-star version. This could be a nice little way of picking up just like an extra sort of awakening for the unit. So that would be kind of neat if they do this going forward. So we'll just kind of have to check it out, but I wanted to bring your guys' attention to that as it is at least something different than we've had ever before. All right, let's jump right on into it here. So here we have our little banners. We are going to get a step up, which is going to have the reduced cost, the 150, and then we're going to jump to 300, and then 150, and then 300, 300. So, I mean, is this a little bit of a buff, for the people who just want to throw the first 10 pull out there? Sure, but other than that, it's basically not going to be changed much. I don't know. This is okay, I guess. Now, for the unit themselves, we can go ahead and take a look in here. And for the most part, I don't think too much has changed. The stats look like they're all about the same. One thing I do want to point out is that we do have a passive change here. So the second passive, that's null paralyzation, seems to work when she's in the front or the back, and that row is just immune to being paralyzed. That's actually pretty good. It's a little bit of an upgrade. Before, it was she had to be in the back row, and then the ally in the same row would get a 50% status ailment resistance up. So this is just gonna nullify one completely, and you're not gonna have to worry about it. You don't have to be in the back row, which I actually think that is a bit of an upgrade here. So if you're running into a fight that has some paralyzation going on, you can stop her from getting it and anybody else that you pair her with. So that's great. All right, a nice little extra there. So as far as anything else in her kit that's changed, I'll kind of notate that as we kind of go through. So basically, Rousseau here is going to be a healer, and specifically a region healer. What is kind of rough for the unit here is that we're going to have a lot of like single target kind of heals. And that it's okay, but I would prefer being able to heal everybody up front. Now the region itself, we do have a couple options for the region in here. As you can see, it built in the base kit, and then you get a little bit better one later on that is going to affect the whole front row. So that's good. If you're looking for a region healer, if you don't have a region healer, we have quite a few that have come out now. Theo, Loomis, we have Agnes. There's just quite a few of them out at this point. So if you don't have a region healer and you're looking for one, maybe you throw a little bit at this. But overall, I'm not sure these buffs are going to be quite enough for her to kind of justify going too hard. Her passive skill, the other one here, is extend duration of augmenting effects granted by self by 1 turn. This is, pretty standard, on some units. We see this and that's just only going to apply to the region buff. And then this single target buff down here, that's a heal for a single ally, but then also raises physical defense and elemental defense by 15%. Instead of it being 2 turns, it'll be an extra turn. So that's okay, but once again, we're at a single target and single target buffing. There's just other units that's going to do this better, going to be able to get the entire front row. So it's just, I feel like this is going to be a little kind of dead in the water, not as useful. Now, getting an extra turn for your region, that'll be great. But we also have that from some of our other units as well. So take that as it will. Now, as far as like your sort of damage dealing and breaking for her kit here, we are going to get access to Pummel, which is a 2-hit staff, and then Trifold Bash, which is a 3-hit staff. These are single target. This is great. We don't have a whole lot of 3-hit staff, but we just got a unit in Liana, which had a 3-hit AoE rather than just a 3-hit single target. Granted, as we've seen in some fights, it's better to be able to single target because maybe you're trying to avoid hitting some of the other people. But AoEs are also really nice to hit all the people. So obviously there's going to be some SP differences in the amount of those that you have to spend to cast those. So that's something you can take into account as well. Now, speaking of another buff, when we're looking at our elemental here, we have this change. She used to have basically a single target wind 1-hit nuke that was 230 power, but now we're going to have this elemental wind that's a single target 3 times for 65. So you're going to lose out on some of the potency of that ability that she had from before in exchange for being a more of a shield breaker, which is okay, because if you look over here, this elemental attack's only 350. A lot of the other clerics that we have are at least above that. I think Liana herself is like 360, so it's not like she's much higher, but you're just not going to be seeing a lot of damage, from the unit themselves. The physical attack, very low at 261. So these trifold staff attacks, you're using it for shield breaking. You're not going to see a lot of damage from that either, and it's only 65 potency. So that's kind of where we're looking at with this unit. Is it seems like it's pretty bare bones. You're really only getting access to some regen. We have quite a few wind units at this point. Adet and Scarecrow, and Agnes has some wind as well. Adet, I think I already said that, but we have quite a bit, so I don't see a whole lot of people out there that are going to be hurting in the wind department. And if you are, I would say that there's going to be some 4-star units that are wind units that are probably going to be better attackers than what she's going to be. So I just don't see this as a banner that we're probably going to go in on. So right now I'm definitely in save mode. You see I only have 204 gems up there, so we're not even going to do the first pull. We're going to kind of be in save mode for that. So there's not much else to say about this unit. I don't think the buffs are going to be enough to say to pull. But let's take a quick look over at the Awakening here, which I actually think this Awakening is really nice. An extra 60 attack, some 40 elemental defense, and 400 HP. Always great to get that extra HP in defense stats, but some attack as well is really nice, along with raising wind damage by 15%. And then limit the support skills, we know that one. When in the back row, grant front row automatic SP recovery of 20. So that's really good to be able to, if you're going to pair that with somebody who's going to be a very high SP cost user, you can pair that with whoever they're going to be, on the same row with. And so in that way, if you really wanted to pull for A4, that's going to be well territory for everybody out there that might do that. But in the future, maybe many updates from now, maybe some of us will end up pulling and getting some extra sparks on this unit that seems to be a good Awakening. Granted, who knows, that accessory, by the time that most of us get it, might be outclassed by something else. So anyway, I think that kind of settles it for the unit. Like I said, the step up is okay. 150 rubies if you just want to throw it out there and see what sticks with the 10. I double checked. We didn't get any new units added to the banner. And at this point, with some of these newer units that are coming in, I think my strategy, since I've been so low here, is going to be trying to save up a little bit more and waiting for at least another dump into the standard pool of units before I start, spending a little bit more, trying a little bit more on getting a new unit. So anyway, I hope that helps. That's been my 2 cents.